Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast.
Hi.
Hi, Dave. You right? How's it going?
How you doing, Chris?
Dave has got all the energy for us today.
Yeah, that's good.
'Cause no one else has got any energy.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking coffee again, David?
Nope.
We've told you about this.
It's high on life and news.
Natural delight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're joined by David Scammell, as you've just heard.
Hey.
Simon, how
Hello.
are you, man?
I'm just Simon now. I didn't get a last
Simon
name.
Miller?
It is just Simon.
Just
the one
Simon.
and only. I'm all right. How are
Simon,
you, Chris
just
Pratt?
Simon. Very good, thank you. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
And Tom Ori.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
All right.
Good
Sorry,
stuff.
I can hear a
Good
kettle
stuff.
boiling outside
So we're
the...
breeding velociraptors
What is
in the
going on out
office.
there?
So we're just breeding velociraptors and they're hatching. It's a beautiful moment for us all.
Yeah, these jokers.
Yeah, we have people
Professional. Ever the professionals
Oh,
outside.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, has anyone been playing those video games this week?
No.
I over the bank holiday, I went for kind of an escape to the country kind of idea. Unhooked from Twitter.
You bought a house in the country?
Well, no, I went to my mum and dad's.
Did you go on Homes Under the Hammer? That's kind of like a video game.
I watched stuff like that.
Yeah. You didn't play any games though. Surely you
No.
take a mobile device with
Nope,
you.
didn't even look at the internet.
How?
Completely.
A whole
How on
weekend?
earth?
A whole
Yeah.
weekend, no internet?
You're
Living
quite
in the
impressive.
past.
It was good.
So you played nothing. This is what you're telling us.
Pretty much. So,
the
I'm relying on you
Video
guys a
Gamer
lot.
podcast is starting off with we played nothing.
Well, not we.
I played something big.
You did?
This
You came
week,
very
and
excited.
we can't. I know it's such a stupid thing to say, but we can't talk about it massively. No, we can talk about it.
So I haven't
I'm
played
talking
any.
about it massively.
I'm worried that I'm going to be the last of us to play it.
Yeah, I played The Last of
that
Us.
was good.
I reviewed The Last of Us, which we can talk about properly a week today. The embargo's a week today, which is exciting. Most people probably saw that I did a video of it where I said I was a bit concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to go into it too much, because obviously that we can't, but I will proudly go on record say that I was very wrong.
Oh,
Well, actually, I wasn't that wrong, because I still agree. In the demo, as it stands, as a standalone piece, I don't think it's very good. It's not very representative of that game at all.
Yeah.
I still think within that demo, there are problems with shooting and stealth and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, pushing that demo aside and taking the review copy of the game as a whole, it's very, very good.
Hello and welcome to the VideoGamer.com exclusive review of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
1 week in
Brilliant.
advance of the rest of the
What
world.
are you doing? Imagine someone from Sony just tunes into that bit. What the? No, it's definitely not that. This is definitely not that.
So, in very general terms, what wasn't in the demo that should have
Well,
been?
I
like-
mean, the thing is that if someone said to me, you know, describe the game to me, I wouldn't say it was one of the best games I've ever played, but I may say it's one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had, if you see what I mean. Because the game itself has issues, which again, I won't go into now. But what?
Nothing.
Why is that funny?
I'm just imagining Sony PR right now going, shut the fuck up.
Why? Why? This is good. I'm saying it's amazing.
No, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, all
But
right.
the game itself has issues. There are certain gameplay things that Naughty Dog chose to do that I don't think they had to do. It's almost like they tick boxes, feeling like we have to tick this box when you don't. Whereas everything else it does, world, atmosphere, narrative, characters, are all the antithesis to that, where it's like, let's do things that games don't do. And that's where the game shines. And that's why, in spite of all its problems, you know, it's kind of irrelevant when you get to the end of it, because you think, well, it doesn't matter because everything else is so good. It's like I've given, you know, a lot of people always give games that have good gameplay high scores when they may not necessarily get narrative or characterization right. So I don't see why you can't do the same when it's flipped reverse.
fair enough. Well, I am very happy that you've come back and said that.
Oh yeah, I was very impressed.
Well, because I think we all played that demo, didn't we, about a week or so ago, and we all came back and pretty much the same thing.
yeah,
that-
no one came back sort of delighted by it, did they?
No, and so I'm worried that the public, because I don't know whether the demo we played is the same demo that's going to be released publicly, or at least via the God of War Ascension disc.
Yeah, I assume it will be.
If it is,
I'd say don't play it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'd
so
say
would I.
don't play it and just wait.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I think this is a case of not demo going wrong, but demo just not representative of what the game is. Like, it's just not. I mean, when I got to those sections within the context of the story, they were much
Yeah.
more interesting than, you know, just starting there and being like, why am I here? I don't know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I didn't actually play the demo, but because it's one of those games that relies so heavily on story, I'm not sure I want to play little parts from here
No.
and little parts from there. I'd rather do it.
The thing is, as well, as I know why the
As it's
demo
intended.
starts there as well. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything, but I know why the demo starts there, and that that hampers it even further, because
You
you
don't-
need all the stuff leading up to that bit to understand why that bit is so
Of course,
important.
yeah.
So, you know, but that's the world we live in.
Be
isn't
like
it?
playing a demo of Heavy Rain where he just brushes his teeth forever.
Or
Yeah, it would be look like that actually.
Or just like having a demo of The Walking Dead where you come in like when you don't really know the characters and you wouldn't
Don't
get the
spoil
same
the Walking
feeling.
Dead, Chris.
I
Don't say
was
anything.
Yeah. But I mean, all I would say, and I don't want to go on too much because I'm worried that I'm going to say something I shouldn't. And this is why you leave me alone, Scabble.
Sorry,
I do think it has the best beginning of any video game ever. I think
Any video game ever.
I think, yeah.
That is, oh man, okay.
Well, give
I'm
me
trying
good,
to think
give me,
about
it's
Well,
not
there's
actually-
Heavy Rain with the teeth brushing.
That's the thing. You got not actually that many.
God of War 3 had an amazing opening.
That's true. But
Fallout 3 had a pretty cool one.
I
You grew
prefer
up in the
this.
vault.
I prefer this to these. Maybe
Fallout 3,
I like
yeah.
God of War. God of War is different. God of War is just mental. It's
Yeah.
just I'm an angry man. I'm going to rip people's heads off. So
Yeah.
So there.
yeah. Other than that, I haven't. That took up that's been my gaming life. It's a big game. It took me a good sort of 15 hours or so. So yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Any darts night this week?
Of course, I always anytime I'm on a train, in a car, on a plane,
In a car?
At work.
I'm getting driven a lift, not what I'm actually doing. I'll always have I still can't get past this one guy on the hardest tournament, and I will keep playing it until I do it.
I'm not sure you ever really want to. because
Somebody tweeted
then the
me,
goal's
I'm
gone.
really sorry I didn't look you up, but they tweeted me saying, bought Dark Knights, any tips? And I was like, there we go, Apshen, we're taking over the world.
One sale.
And he said it was good. It's free though, actually saying that, so
Oh.
it's not like he's got any money out of it. But yeah, always a bit of darts night.
No, it's-
I played Donkey Kong Country 3D. I think we talked about that already.
Yeah.
It's a really good platformer. Go play it. There you go.
Fair enough.
End of story.
Dave, you played any bad games
Dave
this
will be
week?
playing some horrendous game for achievements.
Oh,
I'm
actually, I
sure.
know
He
that you
has
have.
definitely been playing a bad game.
Oh yeah, you did. You fool.
Well, all right. I was going to say I flip-flopped this week, but we can talk about that if you want as well.
Do the flip flop first.
The
Then
flip-flop
we'll do.
first. So I have hated Dead Rising for years. Like,
1 or 2.
well, I didn't give Dead Rising 2 a chance. I played it for about an hour and I thought,
Right.
oh, this is just Dead Rising again, and I hated Dead Rising, so I'm not going to bother. But I went back to Dead Rising 2 over the bank holiday, and I love it. I love it a
What
lot.
changed? That's weird.
Well, I think my way of approaching the game changed. I think when I first played Dead Rising, I didn't fully understand what it was originally.
Zombie game.
Well, I know it's a zombie game, but it's almost Dark Soulsy in the sense that you need to level up in
That's
order
true, you
to
have to start
achieve certain
again,
stuff.
yeah.
And I didn't appreciate that at the time, so I was trying to get through the story and struggling to do it all because it's all on a time limit as well,
Yeah.
which I initially hated, but not so fussed anymore. But now that I've accepted that, and I've accepted that I need to level up first, I shouldn't really touch the story stuff, and I should just mess about for the first 8 or so hours. I've kind of grown to love it. And
Yeah?
I can see the appeal of it, yeah. But no, the other thing that you're all desperate to rip the piss out of me for,
We told you not to play it.
you did, and I decided to play it anyway.
Did you finish it?
No,
Thank goodness.
I will finish it. But I will probably finish it after I finished Inversion, which I still haven't finished.
Oh, the most boring game ever made.
Call of Juarez The Cartel.
Not even Gunslinger, which
Yeah.
came out and actually quite good.
Yeah, that's just been a decent Call of Juarez game for the first time. Why didn't you play that one?
Well, because I don't have it. But
It's
I
on Xbox Live. You can download it straight away.
yeah, but I bought The Cartel.
You bought it.
I paid money for it.
How
I
much?
paid
God.
5 real
It's
British
not even worth that.
monies.
They'd have to pay you to pay it.
5
it's
English
so
dollars.
bad, David. It's so just like, you
It is
know.
bad.
Wait a minute. You said you didn't like Red Dead Redemption.
No,
And
he said he didn't. He said he thought Red Dead Redemption was overhyped, which you're still wrong about.
And you went
It's
to play
amazing.
Call of Juarez.
You know what? I tried Red Dead.
The Cartel instead.
I tried Red Dead Redemption during my Rockstar binge a couple of weeks ago, and I still can't get into it.
I
You'll
can't
admit.
believe that.
You'll admit
it's
that it's
one
better
of the
than-
most special games.
Red Dead is better than Call of Juarez The
Just
Cartel.
checking we got that.
That I
sorted.
would say.
Oh.
But
But you'll play the Cartel through, finish it.
Yeah.
yeah,
but
because
you
it's
won't
like
play Red
4 or
Dead.
5 hours long, whereas
I
Red
know,
Dead
but
is like.
it's 4 or 5 shit hours.
Yeah, whereas Red Dead is 20 hours of pretty much perfection.
And it's not just like it's bad, it's like genuinely actually. And also, sometimes I'm worried it goes a little bit too far
Go on.
with some of the themes, just the way it. Well, no, maybe I don't want to make that allegation
Oh,
until
God,
I've
yeah.
played it a bit more. But just.
Just the characters, isn't it? It's
the
the
chara-
most
the
cliched,
characters-
stereotypical thing
the
ever.
cliche- and they're horrible as well. The entire universe, and I know it's designed to be horrible, but it's unpleasant, and I don't want to play it. Really, I just do. And even the cutscenes. There's one bit
Sums
where
you up, man.
I was talking to Tom about this, where you're moving the money bags back and forth between a van,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then you punch some dude in the middle of the motorway, and it's just your 3 characters. It's a 3-player co-op game, you see. 3 characters just standing around in a circle, just punching this guy back and forth on each other. And there is, all right, this is what I mean about one of the achievements. Sorry, one of the themes that I am not entirely sure should be in a game that was released not that long ago. There is an achievement for watching a stripper's assets for 30 seconds.
Well, that just sums up that game, though, doesn't it?
But
Yeah.
That's what that
you
game
probably
is.
unlocked that without knowing it was there, didn't
Yeah.
you?
You probably thought I was sweet.
Do you have that achievement, David?
I don't. I was sitting there thinking, do I really want to unlock this on my
What?
profile?
Kept
Will
doing it
people
29.
really... do I want people to see that
Is
I've
it
unlocked this?
continuous time, or is it just one?
I think it's one
so
single
did you
session.
do lots of 29 seconds? So,
that must have been quite the conflict for you because you're a fan of the old achievements.
Well, I haven't got to that level yet.
Is it hurting you that you know you
No,
missed
but I
out
just-
on 10 Gs there?
I just felt like what with Techland's previous escapades with Dead Island and the whatever they called one of the perks in that, I think it was feminist whore or something like that. They labelled it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Simon's just laughing.
Well, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
Of
bit
course
much.
it is.
Sorry.
Of course it is. And then they claimed that was like, I don't know what they said, but it's basically in the debug version rather than
Yeah.
the final thing.
Yeah.
But no, it just goes hand in hand with that, really. Like, I don't really like a studio that has that.
There's been a surprising number of games that have made that mistake with achievements. Like, didn't that kind of hold up God of War a little
did,
bit
but I think
recently?
that
know
was slightly out of context.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was a little bit unfair on them.
Yeah, but it's conversations you don't want associated
No,
with your game,
no.
or just
Talking of
It's
Techland,
safe.
though, how the hell are they getting away with making Dead Island for 2 different publishers?
Well,
What's
did
all
you
that
see?
about?
There was an interview with Eurogamer I saw this morning, and
Yeah, he said this is much better than that.
they basically almost say that all those other games they're just like B team. This is like the proper game.
What? So they've
Really?
openly said that Dead Island's the B team
Effectively,
game.
they're saying-
So what was Call of Juarez the Cartel? Was that the A team? Was
That's a
it?
mistake.
They didn't use those terms, but it sounded very much like, yeah, those games have been a bit rubbish, but that's because they weren't like the game we really cared
But
about.
this
That's
one-
mad. Of course, the original Dead Island, they absolutely did. Riptide, not
But
so much.
they made it out like it was Dead Island meets Dead Rising.
This is Dying
meets
Light that we're talking about.
Open World
Yeah.
Genius, the Warner Brothers game.
Yeah.
They're making out this is going to be, if you like your open world zombie games, this is it. This is the one. It doesn't matter about anything else. Finally, Dying Light is coming into your lives.
I haven't seen it, but from what we've seen of the screenshots and the information so far, just looks like bloody Dead Island again.
Yeah, I'm not very excited about it, but
Well,
willing to be proved wrong on that.
But surely, who does Deep Silver, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Surely they're sitting there going, "What the hell?
Come on,
what are you
guys."
doing? Like, you're just making the same game for someone else." I don't get it.
you'd have
Bloody
to
hell, I
ask
can't
Deep
wait.
Silver. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I mean, I don't care. I mean, it's one of those games where I don't think they're focusing on story. And after The Last of Us, that's all I want now. If you're going to do a zombie game, you've got to make me care about everybody involved. If not, I don't just want to smack a zombie in the head with a spade.
There's a zombie game coming out for XBLA soon, isn't there? State of Decay.
Yeah.
Which is
That's the surprising thing about zombie games. You either have to make it completely ridiculous and like it's just swatting zombies and that's fun, or you have to really amp the story up now.
Well, no,
Like-
Left 4 Dead did it quite well because Left 4 Dead you made your own
but
story.
but I think the gameplay is the real
Yeah.
fun part of
But
that. I think it's just interesting that like a zombie genre is kind of split in these two directions.
no, that's true. But State of Decay looks interesting. After I found
yeah,
out
don't
about
know
it
much
all an
about
hour
it.
ago.
Yeah, it's been getting quite a bit of attention over the year or so that's been
Yeah, especially
revealed,
from
but-
me. I've been pushing that game hard. 60 minutes of my life.
Yeah, I don't know. Who
No,
knows?
it does look good. It does look good. But I mean, Dying Light. In fact, I can't even get excited about it. If you can't announce something and get me excited about it,
Is there
you
any
know.
next gen game you're excited for? Because I'm not sure I can.
Quantum
name
Break?
one. Really?
Watch
Quantum
Dogs.
Break. Yeah, Watch
Watch
Dogs.
Dogs maybe. Yeah.
Watch Dogs a little bit skeptical.
Oh, that,
but,
yeah, I'm skeptical since the recent.
but I'm very excited to see it in action.
I'll tell you what I'm not excited about. Fuse. Fuse looks terrible. Like, I actually thought Fuse at one point was being alright, but it looked absolute good. It looks like everything I hate about games rolled up into one little
Just looks
package.
like a generic shooter, and
That's
it
what
always
I hate
was.
about games. I hate about games. Apparently, it's all got stereotypical characters, and you have to use their powers and abilities to.
This is what I don't
Yeah.
get though, because Insomniac, the weapons are great. They always make great weapons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they've struggled to do anything else. It seems with Fuse.
Well, this just seems like it's been sent out to die. No
Well,
one knows
EA
what it
don't-
is.
yeah.
There's no adverts for it. It's
Yeah.
been snuck out the back door.
Yeah.
The name got changed.
Yeah.
It just seems like, you know.
I mean, Matt was one of the few people I know who was like
He was
genuinely
championing it,
interested
yeah.
in it, and he hasn't been able to
He's lost
do
interest
anything.
now, I
Yeah,
think, as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
just,
problem with Insomniac is that they finally, I thought, cracked it, Resistance 3, and then that's dead
Gave
now,
up on it.
effectively.
Yeah.
I don't quite
They
understand
did.
what
He
happened.
said they did think about Resistance 4.
Yeah, I
But,
hope. I hope that they might go back and make another FPS that builds on that, because that was a very good game. I gave that a 9. I really liked. It's like finally they made a game that was an FPS. I mean, I like Ratchet and Clank as well.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, I asked Ted Price this in an interview, and he didn't. He wasn't that blown away with my question. But I basically asked him, "Is it make or break? Does Fuse need to be a success for Insomniac? Because, like, when was their last true success story? Really, Resistance 3 didn't sell as much as I think anybody wanted it to.
None of them did, though, really, did they? None of them were like...
I think Resistance 2 did okay, didn't it?
That's really stupid 65 online multiplayer rollicks.
Rollicks. Even though it was the worst.
I mean, swear, man.
But other than that, what?
Are they not? Apparently, they're working on a first-party exclusive, aren't they?
Are they?
For Sony?
Rumored to be Xbox One.
What?
Apparently.
I've not seen that.
This is the rumours I've been reading.
I won't play that already.
But who knows what that is, if that is real.
Throw that out the door right now.
You're not getting an Xbox?
I am getting an Xbox. I just don't like Insomniac. I didn't get any of the Resistance games. This looks pap.
Ratchet and Clank.
No, Ratchet and Clank is
Brilliant.
not for
Very
me.
good.
It's brilliant.
But it's not. That's not what
All of the PS3 games are good. All
every
of them.
every
All of the Ratchet and Clank.
All right.
Oh.
I haven't played. To be fair, I haven't played the new tower defensey one.
Yeah.
That looked a bit weird.
Did you like All for One and things like that?
All for One was a weird spin.
Quest for Booty.
Quest for
for
Booty.
Boot- is it
Quest
what
for
it-
Booty's fine because that's just a small version of the other games, basically. But All for One was like a weird
Like a Lego
co-op-y-
Star Wars type thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was. I wish they hadn't done that. But all the games, the proper Ratchet and Clank games, are all good.
I never will play them.
The Ratchet
Not
and Clank
my thing.
movie is going to be awesome. Going to revitalise the series, and they're going to be ace again.
Sometimes you give away your age,
My
Chris.
prediction. Tom, have you been playing anything cool this week?
Gears of War Judgment.
I never got around to that.
No, I kind of wish I hadn't.
Oh God, really?
Well, I love Gears of War.
Yeah.
I really like all of them. I really like. I've given them very high scores. But this, I don't know whether it's just the fact that it feels like it could have just been DLC for the 3 or whether it ever was. I don't know. But I played it for about 90 minutes and nothing happened that I cared at all about.
Right.
It looked fairly nice. Like there's some of it, you think, wow, this is pretty impressive for an Xbox 360 game. And they do that kind of interesting thing with you can choose to tell the story in a slightly different way, so it's harder and you get more
Yeah,
stars
there's some
and
kind of challenge
it
things.
doubles your multiplier or whatever it is per level. And it's fairly interesting, but then nothing.
You can't sell a game
in
on
the
that.
actual bit I've played was at all memorable. It was fine. It felt smooth. It was decent gunplay and stuff, but there was nothing happening that was particularly
It
interesting.
needs Marcus Phoenix.
Do you think there will be another Gears of War game? Because
Yes.
did Judgment sell well?
No,
Because-
Judgment didn't sell well at all.
Well,
but Judgment
sold poorly compared to other
Yeah, of
Gears of
course.
War games, but probably did okay
Yeah.
overall.
And I still felt a little bit surprised that the kind of Gears of War franchise didn't carry it a little bit more than it did.
I think it came out in March or April
Yeah,
or
it's
something,
March,
which is
yeah.
a bad time to launch a game anyway. All games are pretty much underperforming. It was like a non-numbered sequel.
Yeah.
Felt
Wasn't
like
the
an
main character.
expansion.
That's the main thing now,
with
isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem, though. You get rid of that number thing, and people think, oh, you don't give a shit.
But all-
That's
And
what
they
they think.
and did they give that much of a
Yeah,
shit
but you
about
look
it?
at PS4 launch, Infamous Second Son, Killzone, Shadowfall.
yeah.
Like they're all
Call of
going
Duty.
away
they'll-
from the
I
numbered
think they'll
stuff.
get away with it just because they're next-gen games. Or whatever,
Yeah.
But it's odd that they haven't called it Killzone 4.
Gears of War Judgment to me was always Gears of War for the iOS generation. It felt like something that was designed to be picked up for about 15 minutes,
Yeah.
get a high score on a level, come back later.
Yeah, it definitely feels like I stopped playing it numerous times. It felt like done that bit, I'd just stop for a bit. Well, I haven't Gears of War 3. I played in big chunks. I
Yeah,
remember
same.
playing that.
But it
for
had a good
3 or 4
story,
hours.
Gears of War 3. People rip on it, but I was genuinely intrigued to see, in spoilers, but you've had plenty of time.
And there were bits, without saying big spoilers, there was one bit that I actually thought was quite well, emotionally, it was done quite well. It was felt like a game about
Yeah.
big dudes.
Yeah, for a Gears of War
shooting
game.
people.
Yeah, I'd
Like it
I'd
had
agree.
some good moments, but this so far, I don't really care.
No, I agree. The whole chase for Marcus's dad is really interesting and it's great going. That's the problem. Gears of War Judgment just felt like a story nobody wanted to know about,
Yeah.
or a story that had already been told through the other Gears games. And it just, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. But I mean, I already had a bugbear because they changed the controls. Unnecessary. That is pure. Well, we've got to do something, so we change the controls. The controls are fine. Don't need to change the controls. But I mean, they got rid of active reload as well, didn't they?
Did they?
Did
What?
they?
Judgment, didn't they? In the
I don't
multiplayer.
think- in the multiplayer.
I thought the multiplayer they got rid of active reload.
Why? That's like one of.
Because then that doesn't
standout features.
balk the shotgun anymore. Because all you have.
Oh, come on! That's their fault for not just balancing the shotgun. Come on. you
Yeah,
can't-
but I didn't make the game. I'm just saying. Gears of War 3, especially multiplayer, was just get the Nasher, active reload it, and everyone ran around shooting people with Nashers.
Has there been a Gears of War multiplayer that hasn't involved go get a shotgun and just
No,
run
but
around
I'm
like
just
crazy?
saying I
no,
understand
I'm
why
saying no, and so that's kind of always ruined it for me. I've always struggled.
Well, there
to
you
get
go. So you
into
may
it.
like Gears of War Judgment multiplayer then. I'm pretty sure they got. I mean, I've only played it a few times, but I'm pretty sure they got rid of active
Really?
reload. Yeah, in multiplayer. I'm pretty sure about this.
I didn't notice it. If they did,
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I made this up. They've definitely done. Maybe they just got rid of the Nasher.
probably
Got
just
rid of
wasn't
the
paying
Nasher.
any attention.
But yeah, Gears of War Judgment felt like a game that didn't really have a purpose.
It
Much
has-
like God of War Ascension.
It kind of didn't. All the games prior to this have had like, wow, this is pretty cool. This one, other than I stopped at one point and looked out at something, there was nothing
Yeah.
that I felt, wow, this is
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, well, I've never got the inspiration to go and play it, and I don't think I'm going to after this. So that's a shame. Yeah,
Oh, well.
I can't say I've really played a lot other than the stuff we've done for extended plays. Did a couple of indie games last week, but yeah, had
Star Drive.
a
Star
quiet
Drive.
quiet old weekend back on the farm.
It was actually a farm.
Yeah,
Did you play the pig game? You kill a pig and eat it.
That's not, how is that a game?
Depends if how
Just
much you enjoy
butchery.
it. Well, no, that's what farming's there for, isn't it? Like,
Do you have any pet cows?
No, it's just horses.
Just horses.
do you eat horse? Are you
We had
responsible for the
a
meat?
foal was born this morning. No, we don't eat the horses. No.
You had a
Oh.
baby horse this morning.
Yeah, a foal.
For breakfast?
No,
What?
you guys aren't very nice.
No one likes horses.
Yeah,
They're
I don't like any
You,
animals.
no one likes horses.
Nobody
No.
does, really.
I hate all animals. I'm
Yeah.
proud to say that on there.
Horses are too big to be liked.
That's well, maybe you like foals.
Like, why?
Because
Because they're too, like, they're so big, they could do anything.
And there's never been a game about a horse. They involve it sometimes, but never had like
What about Pippa Funnel?
that doesn't count.
What about,
Oh, God.
was there a game about, like, a film called Spirit, the horse? You
Maybe.
must love Spirit.
I don't know.
You've
what
never
it
seen
is.
Spirit?
No,
The one about the horse.
I know. I know.
We've
I'm
run you through all
I'm
the
so
details,
surprised
Chris.
it's got a horse in it.
I
Oh,
thought
right.
you'd have definitely seen
I wish I
this.
hadn't brought this up now.
Have you ever seen
right.
Seabiscuit?
I have, yes.
What about Warhorse?
Yep, it's all right.
So you've seen all the other ones. You just haven't.
It's become
seen
Ask
Spirit.
Chris About Horse Films podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much of a market for that, or much depth to it either. But, you know.
It's like, have you
like
seen this?
it?
Yep.
Did you like the horse in Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah, it's good.
What's your
horse.
favourite video game horse? Is it Epona?
Mine's a Pona. I'll stick my neck in there with a pony. She's pretty cool.
I always quite liked Shadowmare from. Is it Shadowmare from Oblivion? Just because it looked completely ridiculous.
The
it's like
one
a
you got,
demon
the one you
horse. that you
downloaded.
summon.
Yeah, that was good.
Anyway, let's
What
move
about
on from
the
my.
horse in Darksiders? Is that even
No,
a horse?
they're
It
way
is
too
a
hard.
horse.
You can't control that
Ruined.
thing. You like the movement when you're on the horse is terrible in that game. And with that, I'm going to swiftly move us on to Dave's big news of the week. If that's quite all right, Mr. Scammell.
It's not all right, actually, because I haven't
He
brought
hasn't
any with
prepared
me.
Anything,
You
has
haven't
he?
got
He hasn't prepared.
Well,
You just broke news. Let's talk about that.
I did press break news before we arrived in this
I
podcast.
don't mean he farted. I mean he actually broke news.
If you'd like to go and check it out, it is available on VideoGamer.com. IO Interactive, developers of the Hitman series, were...
build this up because it's big stuff, Dave.
It's
it
nothing
really?
big.
Build it up a bit.
It's terrible in actual fact.
I found
I'll
it
put some
quite
music over
interesting.
this
It is,
part.
it is terrible.
It is
news.
interesting, but it's a terrible idea. Is it they were or they are?
They are both cancelled
Thank
now. They were
goodness.
doing Hitman Tactics and Kane and Lynch Tactics
Kane and Lynch Tactics. That
For-
game is the least tactical
I
game on the
can't bel-
planet.
I
for
can't believe that
PSP
was
and
cancelled.
Nintendo DS.
They didn't follow through with Kane and Lynch tactics.
Yeah.
What's
What
going
would it have
on?
been?
But it makes you
Terrible.
think, right?
Yeah.
IO hadn't done a game for years, and I wonder what was going on
They
there.
did plenty of mini ninja
But
games.
yeah, Mini Ninjas this, Mini Ninjas that. No one gave a shit about any Mini Ninjas. They wanted Hitmen.
Ninjas.
And
Although I didn't
You
like
merged those two words
Hitman
in.
Absolution, disappointing. Really disappointing. I got, a couple of hours in, I thought, I don't want to play this anymore.
you see, that was the vibe in the office up until Matt Lees and Steve Burns joined, and then they came along and said, "Oh, Hitman Absolution, one of the
But
finest games ever
Steve's
made."
still 7 or something, isn't he? He's not like he loves it completely, but then he doesn't love much.
7 for Burns, like 10.
Many things.
I don't know.
But yeah, weird, right?
That is a
Oh,
very
massively
strange
weird.
story.
Imagine that. DS, Kane and Lynch, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wanted.
I don't know. I wouldn't have enjoyed it at all. But
Kane and Lynch 2, have we discussed this before? Kane and Lynch 2?
Probably.
That we both...
It's all
Not,
right,
we're not
isn't
saying
it?
that Kane and Lynch 2 is a good game,
It's okay.
but
No, but yeah, Burns thinks that it's
maybe it's Burns.
people are going to look back and go.
Isn't it about 3 hours long?
Yeah,
I think
it's terrible, gratuitous, and just nonsense. But
It's
yeah,
the
Burns
style
thinks
though. It's great. It's great. It's like some weird.
It has a
I don't
style,
even know
it
how
has
to describe
style,
it.
but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
You can't have a style and then make a
It
really
gets
short
away
game.
from being absolute shit because it looks, it's got a style to it and it's a bit
And
different.
they fixed the aiming, which is no bad thing. Because remember in Kane and Lynch, the aiming was just off. So if you had the reticule over someone's head and you shot, the bullet would whiz past.
The first
Oh,
Kane
God.
Lynch was utter turd.
Yeah.
One of the worst
Do you
games I
remember in
played
Kane
on.
and Lynch, the first one, there was that horrible bit where
I know
that
what you're
truck
gonna
used
say,
to drive over.
and you didn't know what you're supposed to. You had to shoot the man in the
God.
window. Yeah,
That was
took me about 4
awful.
hours. It's so bad. It's such a bad game.
Oh,
I hated it so
bad.
much. That's the bit. Everyone always brings up that bit as well.
It's-
When you're in
I
the
couldn't-
hole.
How frustrating that bit was.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's such a terrible game. And I imagine Tactics would have been even worse.
Yeah.
How they could make that into a tactics game?
I wish they'd just make Hitman Sniper Challenge into a proper.
What do you mean exists?
Big
You
game.
can go play it now.
No,
You want
but
more
with
levels and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
all. Give me that on iOS or Vita. Done.
All right. I'll go sort it out for you.
There's money to be made there.
We can talk about all the Xbox One. I know there was a podcast about it, but there's still plenty of fallout from that.
Xbox One.
You know, with Microsoft saying you're going to buy it anyway if you're hardcore. You know, and there's a campaign about anti-DRM starting.
But that just kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Like this complete arrogance when it comes to their console that people buy it. People are going to buy it. It's Xbox.
I think, as bad as it sounds, they're probably right.
Yeah.
though,
Yeah, I
aren't
think
they?
they're right.
Like,
People love tech.
Yeah.
But
That's it. It's done. Finished.
Well,
Is it-
I don't know. I don't know what to say that hasn't already been said.
I think
really,
there's a
like,
lot of there's a couple of issues I think around the whole DRM and the privacy stuff. Like, I think the whole point about the spying on you and the Connect and all that has to be in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand some annoyance with it.
Oh, yeah.
But I think whether or not it's just your outlook on things, I'm not particularly paranoid about being spied on, and I don't really care if they use what I'm doing for advertising. I know that probably makes me a bad person, but it doesn't bother me if they look and I'm eating some cornflakes. They advertise a rival product.
you wouldn't mind them spying on you eating your cornflakes.
I don't care about it.
Yeah, I don't
It doesn't
care.
bother me particularly.
I
know
hate it.
I know
God.
some
I
people
hate
really
it.
care, but as long as I never really know,
Tom,
But imagine the
This
stuff
is-
they could see.
this is
Yeah,
how
but-
this
but
is how the
that's
sci-fi
the paranoid
film starts.
side of it. Like, they're not going.
Yeah.
As far as unless I'm really wrong and they're really evil, I don't think they're going to be spying on. They're going to be scanning for certain logos and
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
and seeing what you've got in your room. That potentially, I can understand people not liking it, but it doesn't bother me particularly. That side of it, if that is what
I
they're going to
agree.
do, doesn't bother me.
I don't think I don't
Bothers
think
me.
they can get away with doing that. If it comes out that they are using that kind of information, there'll be massive backlash.
If people hate it, fair enough. I just don't really.
I don't-
That's not a big issue.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't.
really
If they want to scan my living room, go nuts. I
Oh,
really
God.
don't care.
You guys, this is why bad sci-fi films start. You're too complacent
No,
with it, and
I
then suddenly
can tell you right now, Chris.
Microsoft
Me
own-
and Tom agreeing on some little thing about Microsoft. It's not how any bad sci-fi
It is-
films any
it is.
started.
It's starting to spread now, though. There was an article in the Metro this morning. Big Brother is watching you through
Yeah, I
Xbox
saw that.
One. And
But I think this is one of the issues is that they've not answered enough stuff. So this
No.
kind of stuff has spiraled and spiraled and
Yeah.
spiraled.
well, because I don't think they have an answer now.
Microsoft
I
keep
imagine they
doing
did a
this.
week ago.
They keep
Yeah.
doing this. Like it was before the reveal. Like they got into a bit of trouble with it, but they just don't answer things at all.
I think that is one thing. The DRM is another issue. I think in that I know we've had questions about DRM and
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
But I think we might as well cover it now anyway because it's part of Xbox One. The DRM stuff. Again, I think as long as I can sell stuff if I want to, wherever it's done, fine. I think the bigger issue is
No, but legally, though, you're not allowed to do that anyway.
no, but you do, don't you?
No, I
Like,
know, but
people do it.
That's not the.
But it must be legal. Like it can't be like if it's not legal, they haven't stopped it happening, have they? Like,
No,
you
I know,
can
but there's
still-
nothing.
it's
there's
a grey
no reason
area,
why
but
they
it isn't
can't.
illegal.
But they could. But the point is, should they?
Yeah.
And like as long as whoever they do it, if I can go to game and get rid of something if I want to, fine. If it means they go through some weird system, I don't really care as long as it's doable. I think the bigger thing for me is like if I want to give a game to someone in the office or a friend or something,
Yeah.
and how they handle that. Like if they don't clear that up, that would be the only issue at the
That's
moment.
the
that I
issue.
It
find
does sound
annoying.
like that's going to be difficult unless they're using your account from everything,
Like,
the few things they've said so far.
I imagine me and my girlfriend will have a console. Eventually, we'll have a console each, and if we only are allowed to play certain games on particular consoles,
But for you two, you could presumably just sign in on each other's
Yeah.
accounts. It'd be awkward.
yeah, but
it's-
then you'd have to keep a tally of which games are on and which Xbox. It's ridiculous.
I'm not saying like I'm sure this thing for me is the major issue they need to clear up. they've said you better sell games still. They haven't said how. And pre-owned is a thing that will exist, but they haven't really gone into any detail. As long as I can do that, how they do it.
That is the biggest problem, though, isn't it? The confusion at the moment is what's causing the most damage. They need to come out. They're not going to come out and clarify it.
They've talked about how E3 is all going to be about games, but unless they clear this up before E3, it won't be about games. It'll be about DRM.
Which they won't, because I think one of the big things is this, the tying games to particular accounts, the sharing thing. And I think maybe one of the biggest problems they've got at the moment is that Sony obviously haven't declared either way, and Sony could come out and say,
I think
we're not doing it.
Sony have played it very smart by just letting Microsoft take the flak for that.
Completely let them take all the flak.
Yeah. There you are. Go on.
The problem is that EA has already come out publicly and said, we're dropping online passes. At the time, that was a positive.
I knew it wasn't, though.
Of course not. Everyone knew there was something deeper going on there. But now, if Microsoft do a reversal and say, we're changing what we're going to do, they're going to lose EA as a partner, I imagine, because EA are going to go, well, we've already declared our stance on it, and now you've lost us revenue, essentially. So I think they're backed into a bit of a corner, and I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do about it.
I think they could turn it around still. Like, if they announce everything and make it very clear what's going on, and you can still do everything you do now, but it's through a more controlled system, I think people will be fine with it. I think it's just, at the moment...
What do you mean a more controlled system?
Well, for example, if I want to give you a game to borrow, I send you the license for, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
so you can't play on your system.
And I can't use it, but you can.
Yep.
And then after 3 days it expires and it's back and I own it again.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. And like pre-owned, if I go to Game and they have to put it through their system, which gives Microsoft a cut, but I can still sell it to them. And maybe they earn less money than what they used to on pre-owned, but I still get whatever I got before.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But it's just if they...
The pre-owned thing is less of an issue.
If there's stuff
for me
that you can do now that you won't be able to do in the future, that's where the issues happen. I think as long as you can do it, however it's done, I don't really...
I've never been a fan of... Sorry, I was going to say I've never been a fan of the pre-owned industry. Anyway, I understand the benefits it has in terms of low-cost, older titles, but in terms of... Well, I was in Game the other day. They were selling Tomb Raider. I think it was $29.99 new, $27.99 pre-owned.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck off. Like, what benefit is that to anyone?
It's
only the older.
Benefits Game.
Well, no, I know that, but to the average consumer, it's just like.
When I was at uni, I would have struggled to keep up with some of like the newer releases if I couldn't trade in games, and maybe that's what the case should have been. But I don't know. I'm more likely to buy. Sequels to video games that I've managed to get through buying a used copy of an older game because of that. I'd be very sad to see it go.
I blame the retailers. The retailers should have struck a deal with Microsoft years ago, and then it would never affect the gamer. When Microsoft was knocking on their door saying, "Look, if you keep doing this, we will make this hard for you," and Gamer, you can't touch us, mate, or anyone, not just Game. They should then I tell we'll give you 15%, anything like that. And I don't care about all that kind of stuff. Nothing to do with me. And that's the whole point. It should never be anything to do with me. They should have come to some agreement. So I understand why Microsoft go, fine, if you're not going to cut us in, then we'll screw you over.
To be fair, it sounds like that is the way they're going. They're just not being clear enough about it. I think most people's reaction to like the idea of a license and that whole idea when you trade something in, people are okay with that. They're just not very sure about how it's going to work.
It'd be interesting if the margin is controlled by Microsoft itself, because there's a rumour, and Microsoft, I think, are basically trying to make this rumour sound false without saying that it is false. But there's a rumour that Microsoft will essentially be able to set the price of the pre-owned, and retailers will take a 10% share of the 10% cut of the retail price. Now that 10% is obviously massively reduced compared to the margin they're making. Yeah. When I was at Game, it was all about the margin. It was all about sell gameware accessories because they were massive markup. Pre-owned, like you'd buy it in at a tenner, sell it at 20. Do you know what I mean? Like it was
and at retailers, they it's harder almost to buy a new game than it is a pre-owned. Like you go into Game and that's more than half the store is pre-owned.
That's why though, because they buy it in cheap and they sell it high. Whereas brand new copies of games, obviously,
get a tiny fraction,
and consoles even less.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that it's really not like a good chunk of the console price goes to the retailer. It's an unbelievably small fraction.
Yeah. And when the bundles were a big thing when I was there as well, and it was just I don't know how they made money on bundles at all.
Tricky time.
The thing is, all of this is redundant if they announce games that everybody wants. Because that's, I think, gamers are...
What games do people want?
Well, I'm just saying, if they announced, for lack of a better term, new Halo, new Gears, new amazing game from amazing studio everybody loves, everyone all of a sudden goes, I'll buy that.
Surely they'd have
That's
done.
what people do.
They'd have done that though. wouldn't they?
No, they'd go to E3.
I don't think
Why?
they
Why wouldn't they announce their best?
Because
Right,
they
if they had a new Halo for E3, they would have announced it at that conference.
No, they
would.
wouldn't have done, because that conference that wasn't for us. That was for everybody. That was to say, look, we're entertainment.
But
E3
they've come
is a
out with their best.
No, I don't agree at all. E3 is their gaming-focused event, and they know that the whole gaming world is going to watch, and this is the time we announce Halo, because we've already got people
I think
tuned in.
at the event that they had, they showed, for the people that was aimed at, they had COD and they had FIFA.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that, for them, like, they know those games are coming for the Xbox One. That's probably enough. Like, they buy those games every year. They showed those games various forms.
I will put money there's new Halo
Of course,
E3.
they've got, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Chicken dinner.
On a new
Standard.
Xbox One first-person shooter Halo.
Yes.
Yes, at E3.
I'd agree with that, definitely.
Well, I'm not saying first-person shooter. They may go nuts with it, but it will definitely be a
gonna
Halo game. Well, they may go meant to a third person. But I mean, there'll be a
God.
new
Oh, God.
Halo game that's essentially Halo 5 for the Xbox One, announced in 2 weeks at E3.
And then...
I'm not convinced.
Chicken dinner. Chicken dinner on the line.
I'm guessing that if anything, there might be a Gears. There'll be Rare's game.
You
which
don't
I don't
think
know what
there's going to
that
be a
will
new Halo at the E3? Come on.
Don't discourage him. It's easy chicken dinner for me.
Yeah, okay,
Easy
sure.
chicken dinner.
Oh, yeah, you're completely right there.
I think they may tease that they have a new Halo in the
That's
works,
enough.
but I don't
That's
think
enough.
That
No, but
counts.
that counts as
If
an
they have-
announcement.
What do you
they
mean?
say-
What's a tease? A logo? That counts. That means there's new Halo.
So
There's
if they
announced.
mention- if they say
But everyone knows
anything-
there's going to be a new Halo.
No,
Yeah.
but they'll announce it.
And
They'll
they'll do it
say,
at E3. They have it right now. They could have announced it at that one a couple of weeks ago, but they're going to do it E3 because that's their gaming conference. I'll put all my money I own on it. It's not that much, but I still put them out. It's 100% going to happen.
It will be interesting to see how people react to it when they show these games that we're waiting to see. How the industry and consumers react to
I think one
that
of the
first
issues, like, we
conference.
haven't seen really.
Will they just forgive it?
Any games really running on the Xbox One? Like, it's at the moment, it's underpowered compared to the PS4. It's got these DRM issues. It's got the privacy things, but that's all being pushed forward because at the moment they are issues.
Yeah.
But there's no look at those games to counter
isn't.
that.
You show Gears of War 4 looking like the best thing you've ever seen. 50% of people go, you know what, screw it, I don't care, I'll go buy it.
Hopefully, I mean, I don't think anyone's saying let's just forget about the other issues. Hopefully, they sort those out and they clear stuff up. But it won't be. I don't think those issues will be as
prevalent
in the press
Yeah.
and these are big concerns when
It'll be
people wanna
disappointing
buy
to
the
see
games.
that. I think that's what will happen as well. But it'll be disappointing to see people kind of immediately. Oh, that's all right then. Okay,
I'm not sure anyone will be like.
fine.
Chris
I-
hates all this stuff.
I think people will
everyone's
still be
people do.
bothered, but they would think maybe they'll put up with it.
This is a bad sci-fi film. I'm telling you, man. They all these terrible things, but they
Okay.
get you treats.
Just quickly before we move on, what are the things you hate about it? So you don't like the DRM?
No.
You don't like the pre-owned stuff?
I don't like that. If I'm buying a console that I'm going to have for the next 5 or 6 years,
But you're on the internet.
they're direct.
You're
no,
fine.
No, that's fine. That's a separate issue. I don't like that their focus isn't what I want it to be. It's not on video games.
But it will be E3.
Yeah, but surely I'm going to remember that first conference and think,
Yeah, but you'll also remember
Maybe a different
E3.
way.
I think
you don't
as
have
long
to...
as long as they didn't lie, an E3, if it is about games like they said it was, I think you shouldn't be worried anymore. Hopefully, after that. But if they lied and basically half the conference is the TV crap again,
they can't.
I tell you what,
they know that's a mistake.
what I didn't like about the whole reveal was the build-up and people like Major Nelson, and Major Nelson knows who he was talking to. The people that follow Major Nelson on Twitter are all gamers. They're all hardcore gamer people who follow Major Nelson for Xbox News.
Mm-hmm.
There are similar people at Microsoft who do similar things as well, and who hyped that event up. Like, this is the new generation of Xbox, come and watch it. Now, yes, at one point on Major Nelson's podcast, they said, this is more about the vision, and the games will come at E3. That wasn't a major point in their whole build-up spiel. That was a kind of caveat, like, the games will come.
That's marketing.
Yeah, it's
No,
Major
I know
Nelson.
that,
What
but,
do you
and
think
I know
is
that,
gonna
but they build it up to that audience. They know they're talking to that audience. That's who is listening at that point in time.
but that audience
and then
got FIFA and COD.
But then
like
after,
they did.
but then after that audience comes, the event happens, and the audience go, "Oh, that was a bit disappointing." Microsoft go, "Actually, wasn't for you. E3 is for you." And I'm sitting there.
That's marketing,
but it
Dave.
leaves a
That happens
bitter.
with
It leaves a
everything.
bitter taste
It
when
does.
they are building something up to that audience, and you can't deny they were building up. To that
I don't
audience.
think they were. I knew very early on that this was not going to be about the games. I felt that was conveyed to
I
me.
think everyone knew it was going to be about a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But the point is,
And it
is
still
that-
had the two biggest games in the world.
I think that's easily
Yeah, but they
overlooked.
didn't show them, did they?
Well, they
Really?
showed- I know,
They showed that really weird
but for
wireframe.
people,
They showed a fucking motion captured
but
dog.
as much
and
as
a
that wasn't
shitty
enough for
render.
us, for lots of people, that probably was a big deal.
Yeah,
Like, people were probably watching it just to watch the Call of Duty trailer.
Yeah.
We discussed it on the podcast last week. Like, it was clearly designed to, on one hand, it's the dad box, and oh look, Dad will be happy he can do all his NFL shit on the TV. And then the next half was, oh Dad, can I get an Xbox? It's got Call of Duty on it. That was what they went in there for, and I can understand why people would be disappointed. But what I don't like is the whole, oh, it wasn't for you. Please just come back again in 3 weeks' time and maybe change your mind. I don't like that because they knew what they were doing beforehand.
I think had we,
if that was always the message, they
if
should
we
have
were-
said originally, look.
But that's bad marketing. You can't.
Yeah,
you have to
they're not
hype
gonna do
things
it. They-
up.
they
No, I
should
know.
have.
No, I know. I
They
get
should
that.
have.
I get that it's all part of the
But that-
marketing plan. But when a marketing plan goes wrong, they need to accept the marketing plan has gone wrong.
I don't think it has gone wrong. I think they're
I
still
think it's gone
doing.
very wrong.
I don't think so. They're still doing
Last
exactly
week
what
was an
they said they were
absolute
going to.
disaster for Microsoft
I'm
and
not sure
Xbox.
that's marketing.
That's not
I think
marketing,
just-
though.
That's the whatever PR message.
But
or
PR is
whatever.
part of marketing.
No, I'm
PR
talking
is
about
a-
their marketing plan was announce it, focus on console. 3 weeks later, go to E3, push the games. That's their
Yeah.
marketing plan.
Yeah,
That's got nothing to do with the fallout from the first conference.
but the whole thing is a PR disaster for Xbox.
I don't think it's a disaster. I don't necessarily think it's a disaster.
I think
I'm still
it
very
is. I
much
think
on
all
the
the-
fence.
All the gaming channels on the last week have been dominated by anti-Xbox.
Yeah, but that's good
and-
news.
And
That's 'cause-
that's at the moment. That's all
No, I
there
don't
is
just
to
mean
say
like-
about Xbox as well. In 2 weeks, whenever it is now, I think there'll be less. They'll be talking about the games again.
Yeah.
And as like if this was the launch and we'd had they were going, look, buy an Xbox One's cool, and it launches and we've got a load of rubbish and it's a TV device.
I know, but it's
that's
so-
one thing. But this is still, we're still like 5 months.
It's
away
so
from
sad
the
that
thing
we're
coming
even
out.
having this discussion.
It
Like
is.
we're talking about a games console, and we're saying, "Oh, the games will come."
No,
Like,
but I'm sorry. If they
what-
had come out and it was a plastic box, this is the only problem I have. If they come out with a plastic box and said you stick a cartridge in it, everyone would have gone, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
You have to accept that we live in progressive times and technology now leads the way
No,
rather
I know
than
that.
games.
I know.
Like, that just is the way. That's what we live in. You don't have to buy it.
But I think it's a sign of Microsoft that they've completely failed to understand their audience.
I don't think that is. I think they're
I
going
think they're
after
just
Google.
changing the audience.
Yeah, they're going after
I-
Google
it's
and Apple and shit
disrespectful
like that.
to that. The guys that bought
I
the
don't
Xbox
know. I don't think it's
360.
disrespectful.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
disrespectful.
they're gonna. I think we can say that it's disrespectful. In 2 weeks, if they take the piss and they show 5 Kinect games, a fitness game, and like some token first-person shooter, then they've taken the piss. But at the moment, I think they're just.
But even then, let's say they do that. That is the best thing they could do for so many people because it saves you 300 quid. Go put your money down on a PS4.
No.
Easy peasy. What do you mean no? You have
As
options.
someone that has invested in Xbox for 7 years, pretty much, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth to just go.
Not
actually,
really. If they change their vision, you as a consumer have your right to go, that's not for me anymore. I've had my good time with them.
Oh
now
no,
it's
I
time
know,
to
I know
move
that's
on.
my right, but I'd still feel disappointed and.
But why you got PS4 that will do all these things that you want it to do and
I
more?
know that.
Press X to plant C4. It's all there, man. It's all there.
I know, and you know what? We say all this now. I think they'll be exactly the fucking same when they come
Yeah,
out.
I do. I
I
think
think
so.
it'll be exactly the same
Yeah,
as
so
it.
do I.
I don't think any third parties will push PS4 to what it could possibly do above Xbox. I don't think any third parties will use the Xbox One cloud to push it above what
No, I
PS4
agree.
can do.
Yeah,
I
they'll
agree.
I
find
think
a middle
it'll
ground.
be exactly the same.
And the PS4 is going to have a load of the stuff that the Xbox is going to have anyway.
Yeah, they just haven't mentioned
people
it
seem
yet.
to think that it's just a games box, but it isn't. It's going to have tons of multimedia stuff
Yeah.
that Xbox One maybe at the moment is pushing it more. But even at the conference, when Sony revealed theirs, they had all these other functions that weren't just playing games. But because they had slightly more of a game showing, it's been seen as like the gamer's box.
Yeah.
And Sony have been saying
Well, it's a
more,
totally different message, wasn't
Sony have
it?
been saying more things that please gamers at the moment.
Also, that first game Sony showed was Gubbins. That weird
Knack.
wooden absolute crap. I'd much rather watch about TV than that rubbish.
I told you what they dubbed it because I was over at that event. The audience decided to dub it as CAC rather than NAC. But
But this is a debate. I think we have to revisit this after E3, and I imagine everyone's
yeah.
opinions will be very
It's
different.
clearly issues. We're not saying issues aren't there, but I
Well, there
think
are,
let's
but
just
we don't
wait.
have the whole picture yet.
If E3 is a disaster, then I think it's clearer that they've done something very badly.
are we having an E3 predictions podcast next week?
Yeah, we will.
Brilliant.
We'll have a Last of Us one as well. It's exciting.
Really, a
isn't
special
yeah.
Last of Us podcast?
Wow.
We might even have 2 Last of Us podcasts, possibly. We might do a spoiler cast later on.
We'll have to see. Yeah, we need to get a few more people in the office playing it.
We can do a non-spoiler cast when no one else playing it next week.
Yeah.
We can talk about it more general. We can talk about it in much broader general terms. We can definitely do that.
Cool. Well,
When do we ever do this? Last of Us is going to be massive. I
Yeah,
can
we're going to
tell.
push that shit. Yeah.
right then, moving on to some listener questions, I think. We've already kind of covered the whole DRM thing,
Yeah.
so thanks to that, at Waffles. But a few others from the forums. We've got, are there any games that you regard as a secret obsession? Games which other people
Darts
might
Night.
think are total rubbish. Darts Night is probably one of those. I've got,
Like a guilty pleasure type game.
yeah, but specifically ones that other people might not agree with. I've got, like, I don't think people would think they're rubbish, but I play a couple of browser games quite religiously.
Do you?
Which is weird.
Candyman.
No, I play a game called Warlight. Well, it's like a community called Warlight. It's basically Risk, but online.
that's quite cool.
And you can do like 2v2, and it's got like its own little community, and I really like playing that with people I know. And it's not, I don't think anyone would say Risk is rubbish. It's just not really the kind of game that you talk
Risk
about on a
is-
gaming podcast that much.
True. True.
I totally do, and I can't remember what they are.
You play a bunch of stuff.
I
like
know. But whether I enjoy it or not is
that. Yeah,
different.
whether you enjoy it.
It's really
I
annoying.
can't think of anything that
I don't have one. Darts Night is as close as I come.
Another good browser game, by the way. I'm going to show you this later on, Simon. Neptune's Pride.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it because like ridiculous.
It's brilliant. It's like a kind of space strategy game which you play over the course of a few weeks.
Oh, it sounds like a nightmare come true.
I'm going to have to show it you later.
All
We can
right,
have an office game.
We're playing Neptune's Drive. I may not be alive next week.
Neptune's Pride.
Oh, Pride, whatever. Star Drive. All right, we'll play that later.
So Dave just pretty much every game.
Well, there have
Dave
been so
plays,
many games.
everyone.
I remember the conversation I have. There's so many games where I sit there.
Dave will just shout one out in
I'm
a
sitting
minute.
there
from
with I'm
nowhere.
sitting there with a girlfriend. I say this. I say, I know this is shit, but I'm really enjoying it, and I can't think what they are. No, I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one.
Yep. Every game that Dave plays at the weekend comes under that category. This is more general. And then games that you didn't buy or didn't get a chance to finish that you'd love to play now. I've got tons of them.
I have so many, but I'm not saying them out loud because people will turn up with pitchforks.
There's definitely a few that you mentioned in the office the other day.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning
one
that on
in
this.
particular.
I'm not mentioning that in here because I will get lynched.
I think because we cover quite a lot of games, particularly like with the video stuff that I'm doing, I don't get a chance to finish many of them. So lots of like brilliant games
Yeah.
I only get a sample of, which is a shame. Just one I still really want to go back to is Dishonored, just because it came out at an unfortunate time for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually,
Never played it.
I think Mass Effect series. I bought them all now.
Oh,
I
man.
still haven't played them
Oh, that's good. That is
because it's just
That's
really
almost as
position.
bad as mine.
I know, but yours is worse.
Dude.
Much worse. I'm admitting to mine.
Oh, I wish I hadn't played the Mass Effect series.
And Mass Effect is
I
like
could play it now.
like that kind of, at the time it was billed as like an RPG and stuff. It's not so much these days, but they were never games I really got into anyway, so that's my excuse.
Oh man, dude.
But they're there
Exciting
waiting
times.
at some point.
Yeah.
For some reason I've always wanted to play Rage.
Oh yeah.
I've got a copy at home.
It's supposed to be really good, like gun wise.
I just never got around to playing it.
I wasn't blown away by it, but it's fun enough, I guess.
I think it might be Red Dead for me.
Yeah,
I
Red
keep
Dead,
trying.
yeah.
I keep trying.
One day we'll get there, man.
Yeah. But
You need to watch Deadwood first. That's what I did before I
Really?
played Red Dead, and it completely it inspired me. You need to be in that Western kind of
I'm in
attitude for
Mexico
it.
now.
I think Deadwood's probably too good for Dave. He needs something
You
lower
reckon?
brow that can
Yeah.
get him into it. Like, I don't know.
Some-
Is there a cartoon
There's
that's
gotta
about
be, yeah,
cowboys or something
yeah.
that he can watch?
We'll find something. We'll find something, and then like lead you into Red Dead again.
Okay.
Simon, you gonna
No way, I'm not
Mention-
saying what mine is. I
Okay.
don't want to get killed on the
Just
street.
assume it's the best game ever.
But
He
it's
hasn't-
not.
He hasn't
It's
played
the
it.
game that everyone thinks is really good, but it's not. But anyway, move on, quick.
Oh, I know what it is.
Do you want to say it quickly?
No, don't,
right, okay,
don't
okay.
being alive. I like not having people assault me on Twitter.
Last one. This is not game related. Favorite sketch comedy. I think I know what you're going to say.
Sketch
Sketch.
comedy?
Yeah.
As in a sketch show?
Big
Train.
Limmy's show?
Yeah, let me show. I've started watching some of that on YouTube.
That's
and
amazing.
You were quite right.
Yeah, it's
You're
brilliant.
quite right.
Absolutely.
But Big Train or Jam.
I quite like Mitchell and Webb, but I'm not sure that you
Not
guys do.
no, Mitchell and Webb is no.
It's dire, really. But
That's not the same quality. Like
Oh no, I don't think
Big
it's.
Train is like
not
a
my
classic,
favourite, but-
and Jam is so bizarre. It's just. Have you ever seen Jam?
God, this is one of those moments, isn't it?
Not many people have, probably.
yes.
So,
I
but
haven't
yeah,
seen
it's
it.
super weird. But
Fast show for me.
yeah,
It's probably made before you
Had
were
its
born,
moments.
Chris.
have you seen? Fast
Is
Show,
Monty
Chris?
Python's Flying Circus a sketch
Yeah.
show? I put that in there as
Yeah,
well.
oh,
Limmy's
God.
show and Monty Python
Monty
would be
Python's
mine.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That kind of wraps it up for questions because we need to move on to the old podcast competition to
Member of the month? No,
finish
the other
this.
thing.
Yeah, member of the month.
Member of the month, okay.
Member of the month podcast competition. Any of those words
Oh, good.
apply. Okay, so we've got a number of pictures. This is the competition where you had to design the next Xbox console. Unfortunately, the competition, because we do it over the month, did span.
They kind of revealed it
past the reveal,
mid competition.
So we have given a little bit more preference to the guys that tried to predict beforehand, just because they were widely off target. And we've got a few decent ones to.
Or you think
to
they're
shout
decent?
out.
There's one with it's an orange with a moustache.
You can't just
It's a
ruin it.
pirate.
It's like a Satsuma man.
Okay, this one's from Hapix Hog, and there was no way it was going to win, but it just deserves a mention because, it's an orange
It
with
looks
a beard
like
and a pirate hat.
one of those tiles from Guess Who. Are you sure it's going to be an orange?
It's printed
Is
out
it
in
an
black
orange?
and white. It's printed out in black and white, but yes, it is
Any
an orange.
explanation of that would be
Not
great
at all.
because I don't get it.
It's nothing to do with consoles or video games really, but I can appreciate it. It's different.
Do you know what the Curious Orange is?
Yes, it's kind of very similar to that. Unfortunately, it's not a reference.
like James and the
as
Giant
good,
Peach?
Not as good as the Curious Orange. Though.
The Curious Orange.
Do you actually know what the Curious Orange is?
Isn't it? Oh no, actually, I might be thinking something else. It's not that YouTube thing.
No,
is it?
it's
He
definitely
looked at
not
me
that.
there like, it was
Oh,
James
that's
and
the
Giant
annoying
Peach.
orange,
You're
isn't it?
wrong. No.
Good.
I
Well.
thought I liked you more then for a second.
Damn it, so close. Okay, we've got this one from Dazza Davey, who, he's either managed to find like an early prototype of the Xbox One, or
look
he's
at
just
that.
got some stickers.
Oh, he's got look, it's got
I
an
think he's
actual...
just stuck some stickers on a
I think he
360.
was-
It's got a proper label on it.
He used his daughter's crayons
By
to like.
proper label, it's a
It says
Probably-
new.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
round.
It's also called the Xbox 3, which
Like a rosette.
must have been a very early prototype.
He's only 20 years off. That's all I have.
We've got this one from Headless Sky, which I mentioned on the kind of video gallery we
yeah,
did,
I
which you
remember
might want
that
to check
one.
out.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Looks
like
like something out of Robot Wars.
It's
and
like a
I can
spider
appreciate that.
Xbox.
It's like one of
with
those games in the fun fair that you never win. You know, the claw games when you want to win a cuddly toy. It never grabs it properly.
That's
like one of those.
what that looks
You're
like
going
to
to
you.
the wrong fun fairs.
What kind of fun fair
The
do you
thing at
go
the top
to?
with the clip.
Yeah.
You mean the?
It's got a
it comes
saw
down
on
and
it.
goes
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
round
Okay, that bit sure, but
Yeah.
the rest of it's like a saw.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like
referring to the
spider
top
legs.
bit. Jeez, come on,
Oh
guys.
man, you're
Madness.
crazy. And
Look at that, Thor
the last
Pop.
final honourable mention goes to Ghost Dog, which was this was after the reveal, but it did make me chuckle. It's a picture of the Xbox One. It's quite nicely done. It says it only does one thing. And
Chris, that's a
EastEnders.
VCR player, by the way. You
It
probably
is
don't
as
know
well.
what that is, but we used to play videotapes back in the day.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's what
Did
we
you?
had.
Honest,
How's a videotape?
serious question. Did you ever watch anything on the VCR?
Yes.
Did you?
Jesus, I am 22.
I had Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar on VHS.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
No,
Yeah.
Is it?
Aladdin
was it a good sequel?
2?
Yeah,
I
Return of
didn't even know
Jafar.
that.
All Disney sequels of rubbish.
No, that's really good. Return of Jafar.
And I had Die Hard. I told you the Bambify story, haven't I? Bambification.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We-
You can't do that on Blu-rays.
I think we should mention the winner before we start rambling
Okay,
on about
sorry.
Dave's VHS memories.
Okay.
And the winner
Dave's
of
VHS memories.
the winner of the Member of the Month competition going to win a game of his choice from Shop 2.
Up to the value of
Up to
£50.
£50 and must be out in stock or released within 2 weeks.
You're like the guy at the end of the advert,
Yeah.
like quickly
Guarantee.
rattles off a lot of.
Guarantee.
Is Psycholect, who is
Cyclect!
Woo!
What does Cyclect?
Don't do that noise! Don't do that noise! I've just seen the audio go crazy on the
Imagine
laptop.
someone tunes in just there. Oh, it's a special version of the podcast.
And you'll want to go on the forum to see it, really. But
Oh, I
it's-
thought the other one had won.
He won.
This
Oh.
The one where it looks like Connect's going to kill
I
you.
thought we all decided the other one had won
No, I
before
think
we
that's-
no,
started.
no,
this
you
one.
decided that, and
Oh.
then we disagreed.
Yeah, Dave.
I'm sorry.
And this was before the reveal, but he's kind of captured the whole menacing element of
Yeah.
having an Xbox One in your room, watching you.
Oh, this was done before the reveal.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool,
Oh,
isn't
okay.
it?
That's why he
Alright.
won.
Extra credit.
Yeah,
he's done well.
it's kind of it shows that our fans.
He should be a business
You
analyst.
should work
or
for
something.
Microsoft. So Psycholect, I will get in touch with you over the forums, and yeah, congratulations, man.
Well done, Cyclect.
There we are. That pretty much wraps up this week's podcast. Has everyone had a nice time?
I'm so tired. I'm sorry if I sounded tired during this podcast. I'm really tired.
Oh well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Thanks.
And yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up this week. So thank you for joining us. I've been Chris Barat, joined by Simon Miller,
Thank you very much for
David.
having me.
David Scammell,
Hey yo!
once again the audio, and the fabulous Tom Ori.
Goodbye.
See you next time.